Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Everly. We're still working on her and we're waiting on my pencils so I can try the capillaries. When I get my pencils, I don't know when they're coming, I'm going to give Martin and Everly both some capillaries. But right now I'm going to give Everly some veins. I forgot to vein her when I was doing her enhancements. And she's already had her final bake from her enhancements. And so before I seal her, I know I said when I came back she'd be sealed, but she's not. Before I seal her, I'm going to give her some veins. I'm not sure exactly where I want to give her veins, but I'm going to give her some veins. I do like to do it on the limbs. She's highly modeled, which we're trying that as an experiment too. This is experiment doll number 2, and I'm trying to give her some modeling that I like, that I can keep up with on every doll that I do, because I'm just not a fan of modeling at all. And when I got Presley, a lot of that changed. I loved the way he was made, and he had veins and modeling. And so I decided, maybe I will vein them some more. But one thing I noticed about the way whoever made him did the veining was they were willy-nilly about it. Like, there just might be a tiny little squiggle here and a tiny little squiggle there. They didn't do what looked like real veins to me. Like a vein on a baby is going to be pretty much kind of long, and they're usually real wiggly. They're not just some little squiggle about the size of an S. And they can be all over their body, just anywhere. There's just not really any rules. I know some people get those anatomy charts and try to figure out where people really have veins, like they'll go down the back of the leg like this, and it's called a certain vein, and then they'll do it down here, and you can do it pretty much anywhere you want. As long as they have some veins, they have a little more realism than if they don't have any veins at all. And you can make them as dark as you want or as light as you want. You can make them as simple as you want or as elaborate as you want. It's all up to you. I like to do it on the thigh, where if the person's going to change the doll's clothes, they're going to see it. I like them down by the ankles, because that's where you see them on babies. That's where I saw them on my little granddaughter. We're down by her ankles, on her wrists. It's pretty much the same place you're going to see your own veins if you're looking at your body. You're not really going to see one in your thigh, but people want to see the veins. And so I put one on the thigh and the upper arm, so that when they're changing their doll's clothes, they go, oh, she's got a vein. It's so cute, And I'm pretty sure capillaries pretty much belong on the head. I'm going to give her a little bit of veining on her head. I'm totally against veining the head, but I'm going to give her just a little. I'm trying to break out into some different veining thing that I don't usually do. And I'm pretty sure you can't see the veins. You're not supposed to be able to see them on camera. But a pencil is a great way to put veins on a baby, because you can make them as thin or as fat as you want. You don't have to worry about paint running. You don't have to worry about it not being dark enough or light enough. You control that with how hard you press down. And the color that they send you in the paint kits to do veins with is sort of a tealish color, sort of an aqua color. And I use aquamarine because it's the closest that I've found. I've tried several different colors, and this one is not too dark, it's not too light, it's just about the right exact color. And by the sharpness of the pencil, you control how hard it presses down. I mean, how dark the vein is. I've noticed this one hand is not keeping its, well, it does have some veins, it does have some creases. She's got creases everywhere. They're just very light. But I'm going to go on and seal her now. I've got another doll that's coming out of the oven that I'm going to work on while she has to sit for a while before she can be worked on before she can be baked. And while that's happening, I have another doll that's coming out of the oven just any moment from being sealed. And I may work on that doll. It's Lucy, I believe. And Lucy has a lot of interesting places to enhance her. Most of these videos are about enhancing your doll. Everybody knows how to pounce on a color. You just pounce it on. You just put it on your sponge and pounce it on. But if you don't enhance your baby, they're just going to look like flat. So flat. I don't know if you ever bought Walmart dolls for your kids. My mother used to buy us dolls as children, and we thought they were fabulous because nobody ever saw a reborn back then when I was a child. I was born in 1957, for heaven's sakes. And Thumbelina was my favorite doll, if you know what Thumbelina is. And she was she was very plain, very, very plain. She did have rosy cheeks, but just little circles, just like they painted her a flat color. They gave her a little bit of rosy cheeks. To me, she was a beautiful doll because we never saw a doll like these, Now she just looks so ever so just plain. And I got way too much on her face. I'm trying to spread it around. We didn't have anything to compare it to and go, oh, now that looks like a baby, To me, she was the most wonderful little baby there was in the world. And my aunt used to take us out shopping with her, and she shopped at secondhand thrift stores. Most commonly would be Goodwill or the Salvation Army had a store. And we'd go in there and she'd let us pick out some baby clothes. And back then, little girl baby clothes were frilly and fancy looking. And they were all dresses. People just didn't put pants on their little girls back then. And so we'd have this little wardrobe of little doll clothes that and she even got me a little wardrobe case. I don't know what kind of a doll it was supposed to go to, but it was called a wardrobe case to put your doll clothes in. And it carried like a little tiny suitcase or a great big lunchbox maybe. And I had all my doll clothes in there, and eventually I had so many they wouldn't fit in there. And she bought me one of those little tiny like cosmetic suitcase things. And I kept them in that. And I just had ever so much fun with my Thumbelina when I was a little girl. And she meant the world to me. And you could wind her up and she'd move. That's what I like most about her. She could move. And she didn't have the crier or any of that stuff. They have some that have a crier. When you turn them over, they make like they're crying, She didn't have all that. She was an original, I think, 1960s. I don't know what exact year she was made in, but I think they started making them in the 60s, and they were a little bit more rudimentary in the 60s, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I just know she didn't have all the bells and whistles that the newer models had. But I sure did love that doll. She was just everything to me for the longest time. And then you grow up, and then they don't mean as much to you, but to have my Thumbelina back, would mean the world to me. As I got older, I still had her, but I didn't play with her or even really care about her, but I just couldn't bring myself to get rid of her. But my sister decided one day, and because I wasn't really paying attention, I just really didn't know where my Thumbelina was. I wasn't looking for her. I thought she was in the closet, and my sister had cleaned out the closet and put boxes and boxes and boxes of things down in the basement. And the basement was real stinky, and it had a dirt floor, and it was an old-timey basement because we lived in an old-timey house. And it leaked when it rained, and my Thumbelina got ruined. So did a lot of other things I had in there. Really, really upset me, but What can you do at that point? And she was molded and gross, and she had to be thrown away. Little did I know back then that there would come a day when you could take her and reborn her, give her another body, and fix her up and everything. I don't think any of her vinyl was molded, just her body. But oh well, it's the breaks. I'm sure my sister didn't know that was going to happen. She was just trying to get rid of stuff that nobody cared about anymore and make room for older kids stuff. We were older. I was probably 12 or 13. I still cared about my Thumbelina, but I never played with her or anything because I thought I was too old. But I didn't want to, I kept her all that time when other dolls that I had fell by the wayside. I used to have these twin dolls named Mary and Jerry. And they were just plasticky dolls, though, like just any other plastic doll you can get at Walmart. And but I liked them. They had the drink and wet system. You could feed them a bottle of water and they'd wet their little diaper. And they looked similar because they were supposed to be twins. And the things we think about when we're little kids. I had a fit for Mary and Jerry. We all had a fit for some doll at one time. One year we all got a new doll for Christmas, and we all wanted something different. My sister got Chatty Cathy. She was a doll that you could pull the string and she'd say something. I got Thumbelina. My sister, younger than me, next to me, she got, I think it was Kissy. It was a doll. She was a taller doll. She could stand up on her feet. And if you pushed her hands together like this, she'd make a kissing sound. And then my youngest sister, I think she got Dancerina. It was a doll that she took batteries. She was the only one that took batteries. And you could, she was dressed like a princess kind of. She had a crown on her head, and you could pull up this little button in the middle of her crown, and you had to hold on to it, and she'd swirl around in circles like she was dancing. Or maybe wound her up first. I don't know. There weren't a lot of toys when I was a kid that took batteries. Hardly any, as a matter of fact. And that's the history of dolls in my family. We had Hi Heidi. She was a doll. You could push her belly button and her arm would go up like she's saying hi. And toys were just so much simpler back then. People just didn't. If you had a toy that took a battery, it was the only one you had, probably. People played with blocks and puzzles and, things like that. Little push cars. The boys played with push cars. They didn't have remote control cars. I mean, they might have had some, but kids didn't use them because parents didn't buy them. They would buy them the little push kind. They had some you could pull back. You pull the car back and then it would roll some. My brother had some of those. Anyway, she is now sealed. We have to let this very, very wet sealer dry until it reaches a powdery looking. I'm going to show you this other doll that I sealed. Now she's not colored at all, but she is sealed, but she has not been baked. But she doesn't look a bit wet. Not a bit. She's been sitting over there for 2 or 3 days. You can touch her and she feels very powdery. And so she's ready to bake. This is June. Anyway, Everly needs to get that way, but that's the best way to bake them when they look like this. If they're any wet at all, they're going to stick to that mat or whatever you have inside your New Wave oven to keep the dolls from touching hot things. And when they stick, they come away with a little bit of fuzz stuck to their sealer, and you can't really see it. Oh, I know y'all can see this hanging down. You must be able to. It's driving me nuts. I keep putting it back up, and it keeps hanging down again. But when it sticks to the sealer, when you color doll, it colors too, and you can then see it. Then you have to try to scratch it off with your nails and stuff. It's just a big mess. So it's worth it to wait the time that you need to wait on your dolls. If you need to wait 2 days for glue to dry, wait the 2 days. It's worth it. And if you need to wait 2 days for your sealer to dry, wait that 2 days as well, because it's worth it. Oh, let me throw this sticky stick away. I don't know why I'm saving it. Because the time you wait is time that needed to have been waited in order to make a better doll. We're trying to make good dolls, not fast dolls. Yes, you want to work at a normal pace. You don't want to take 3 months to make a doll. Well, I mean, some people do. But I think that's a little excessive to take that long to make a doll. But still, that's your prerogative if you want to do that. And but we want to take the amount of time that is needed for our doll to look good. And that is sometimes longer than we want to wait. But if we don't wait, then our doll comes out inferior. And we don't want that. We do not want an inferior doll. So I'm going to advise you to wait the time. When you first seal your doll for the first time, wait the 2 days or at least 24 hours. And then when you do bake them, they come out better. If you hurry your doll along, you're going to cut corners that you don't need to cut, and you're going to make mistakes you don't need to make. We need to consider every step we're making. I think this is that brush that I used in that. Yeah, I think it is. And this is a red one, I think. Sometimes I leave these brushes out, and yeah, that's a red one. I think this is the one I used in that modeling color I made. I don't know where to put it because, well, it's a modeling color. I could put it over in this one. Anyway, we're going to get her in as quickly as we can for a bake, and in the meantime, I'm going to start a new video. It's going to be Lucy, I guess. She's the one that's coming out of the oven here in a minute. And by the time these post, I'm going to post them. I'm saving all these videos to post at the same time so you won't feel the weight of time because it's just grueling to go, when's she going to put that next video up? You know, some people even ask me, they go, okay, you got 2 videos up. When are the rest of them coming? You know. So anyway, please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.